Hello, I am Kelly Frick of Kelly Frick Connect, and I'm super excited to be able to bring to you Sally King today. We are going to be connecting our health in a totally different way today with this interview in our financial health, okay? Of being able to understand how finances, really and truly what we think and what we do with our money, how it affects our physical health and our mental health. So with that, Sally King, thank you so very much for being here.
Oh, you're so welcome. Happy to be here with you.
So tell us a little bit about who you are, what your profession is, and just tell us a little bit about you.
So my profession is I'm a financial professional, and I work for a company. It's a very large company. I work for a division of that company that serves the 80% of the population that never gets seen. And most of us in our neighborhoods, regardless of how big the houses are, have never sat in front of a financial professional to just have a conversation about where we are financially, what our hopes and dreams are, what we want to do, and where we want to go. And part of that is lack of education. We don't get any education in high school or even college. Part of that is because we don't get it there, and we're not getting it from our parents. We're just like on this little train, like we're just riding along and everything's great. Hey, I got my card, I got my house, everything's looking fine, I got some food on the table. But what we don't think about is what's going to happen in 10 or 15 or 20 years. And so we tend to put things off. I know I am a huge procrastinator for a lot of things. And I think most people are. I think they procrastinate. They think, well, I'm kind of young. I don't think this is the time for me to try to save. I'll wait till I get out of college, right? Mm-hmm. And then they get out of college and I can't save now because I got to move away from home, and I've got to get my first job, and I've got to start, I got to buy a car, and maybe they're going to buy a house, and then they meet Mr. Wonderful or Miss Wonderful, and we're getting married now, everything is being sucked up by that. Oh, we're pregnant, we're going to have a baby, we can't afford to do that now. And then the children's things come along, right? Swimming and ballet and baseball and whatever, right?
Right.
And so what happens is we just put it off. And then I get somebody sitting in front of me who are 52, 53, somewhere in there going, guess what? I could start saving now because the kids are out of the house, they're married, and I have to look at them and say, well, we need to have a very frank, serious discussion because you've waited so long, you've lost a lot of time. The only thing we can't buy back is time, right? So we can buy a new house, we can buy a new car, sometimes we get a new husband or a new wife, but we cannot buy time. And time and money equate.
Right.
So that is one of the reasons I'm passionate about this, is that I want to educate more people about financial literacy and show them how money works. And that's what our company is a company that teaches people how money works. It's a big passion of mine.
That's awesome. So what drew you to it?
Well, I was actually looking for something. I didn't know that I was looking for something. Like most people, like I told you, we're on that bus, right? We're just going along and everything's great. We're looking out the window and everything's cool. And I had a profession. I was a nurse, an RN, a registered nurse before this. I had a bachelor's degree in nursing, and I just thought, I'm doing fine. I'm making good money as a nurse, and I can call my own shots, but I really wasn't calling my own shots. I had an employer who was telling me what kind of house I could live in, what kind of car I could buy. They were telling me what kind of vacation and when I could go on vacation. And by the way, if something happened in my family and I needed to take time off, they decided whether it was important enough for me to get that time. And if they gave me the time, then they guilted me when I got back. And I was made to feel as if that death in the family wasn't important enough to be gone. And so I was kind of looking for something. I loved my patients and I loved what I did, but I really didn't like the people I worked with very well. And I got called by a gal who said, hey, I heard about you, and why don't you come over and talk to me? I'm like, I'm always up for an opportunity. Like opportunity or just talking, right? It's free. Just like talking to me is free. Like it's not going to be painful. I'm not going to stick you with a needle. There's no blood on the floor.
And it's super fun.
And it's fun. And it is fun. Yes, and it is fun. And so I went over to talk to her. I thought, I lose an hour in my life. Okay, but I learned something. And 15 minutes into it, I said, what do I do? Let's do it. Like, if I can help people this way, and I can change legacies, and I can help families have more money, And 6 generations from now, somebody could say, hey, on that genealogy chart, but for those people, our lives would have been the same as theirs before them. So it's kind of a cool thing to do.
That is cool.
Mhm.
That is very cool. So what is the most rewarding thing that you do?
Well, it's kind of either end of the spectrum. I love helping younger people get started, and I like it when the light bulb comes on and they go, oh, so if I start now at like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, I'll actually have more money and I can quit even paying myself at 25 to 27, and when I retire, I'll have more money than the guy who starts at 25 and pays for 40 years. That's cool, because math doesn't lie, right?
Okay, hello there again. All right, we had a little bit of technical difficulties. That's quite all right. We got it all fixed, but we are going to pick back up on what is the most rewarding thing that Sally does.
Well, I think the most rewarding thing for me, there's a couple, but the most rewarding is building. I love building this business. And what's great is all the people I have working with me are mostly part-time people. Now, not many financial companies will allow that. But who better to talk to middle-class America than middle-class Americans? People who have had financial issues, who've had divorce, who've had death, who've switched jobs 5 or 6 times, who decided to go back to college and then decided it wasn't right for them, and now they're looking for something. People who want to be entrepreneurs and don't know how to get started. So it's really great for me to sit down with all the people that I work with and hear their story and hear where they are. But the common thread is I just want to give back. I want to make more money for my family, and I get passionate.
I know you
Sorry.
do. That's what I loved about when I met you and we talked about it the first time.
I don't know why you asked me that question. Anyway, it is rewarding because you're building people's lives. Now, these people that come to work with me are in the same boat I was in when I started. So they're excited to go out and help their family, their friends, their neighbors, people that they don't even know yet, right? Perfect strangers that they don't even know yet. But what's great is they're getting a financial education. They are never going to be the same. They are fundamentally changed, and they are fundamentally trying to change other people for the better. That's rewarding.
That is awesome. So what is the most challenging?
Balancing so many people, trying to meet a lot of people's needs, to get them off the ground, performing, being able to get out there and make that money that they want to make and help other people. But also having those conversations with those 50-somethings who never bothered to sit down with anybody, because guess what? Just like everybody else, they didn't know they could do that. So now they've been taught. Now that we've done a little education with them, and they're getting it, and they're like, well, what do we have to do next? Sometimes they've said, we'll come on board and work with you. Sometimes they've said, we're going to go out and get another job. Sometimes they've just said, well, we'll just start with what we have and we'll figure it out as we go. But I stay in such close contact with all my clients that, you know, for everything that goes on in their life, I have an opportunity to respond to those needs. So it's really fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is really awesome.
And yes, I am a big crybaby.
Hey, it is, like I've talked about before, it's the emotions just flowing through. That's
It
good.
is.
It's healthy.
It is. It is.
All right, so I typically ask if you're familiar with essential oils and how you discover them and things. So I actually know that you have a familiarity.
Yeah,
You reached
I
out
do.
to me.
I
correct?
reached out to you because of Facebook. And so that's how you and I got connected. And yeah, so we've been working together on some things.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
All right, so what do you use the essential oils for just your personal use?
I use it for my personal use, and I've got several of them. And my husband, when I put certain ones on, you know, he goes, oh, I like that one, right? I'm like, okay then. But I heard him the other night talking to somebody going, oh, well, my wife uses essential oils. She has this gal over in Georgetown, and if you don't know anything about it, you should talk to my wife because she'll tell you all about her. I'm like, wow, you are listening, right? I mean, like, when we think our husbands and our kids aren't listening, let me tell you something, they are. They are listening.
So what is your favorite essential oil?
You know what I like is the black pepper.
Wow.
I really like black pepper. I know it's not all foo-foo-y fruity, but I really, really like that one.
Okay, so do you use that one aromatically, topically,
I use it
internally?
topically.
Topically? Okay.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite thing about black pepper?
I like the smell.
Okay.
I like the aroma, and I like the way it feels.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Very cool. Okay, that threw me for a loop. I love black pepper as well, but I have not heard many people say like, my favorite one is black pepper, you know?
Like usually, yeah, it's usually something fruity,
Like
cocktailish,
right,
you know, flowery or something. No, I'm not that kind of girl, although I do like lavender. But actually lavender and pepper together is very nice.
Very cool. Now, does it help with aches and pains or anything like that?
It helps a little bit with my aches and pains. Yes, ma'am. I am busy all the time.
You
And
are.
I am always driving. And I called you today as I was leaving South. I'm halfway out of South. I'm almost there. I'm like on 35. So yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
so I'm always on the go. So those are great. Those are great oils. And I got to tell you, for people out there who aren't really sure about this, I wasn't sure about this. I mean, it's just like in my business, right? People go, I don't really need help. Yeah, you do. Because you're just like everybody else. There's nothing that, special about you that you're doing everything as well as you could. Right?
About the finances.
You kind of need a coach. And I didn't know how much I needed these essential oils until I sat down with you. And I just went on faith. I mean, you were sitting in that chair over there, and you said, "I think you need this, this, and this." I'm like, "Okay, just do it. Just do it. I'll whatever you say, I'll trust." So it worked.
That's super cool.
By golly, it worked.
Well, cool. Well, let's shift back into wrapping up with your business. Is there anything about yourself or your business that you would like to be able to leave as, a closing statement that you want to share that you feel like we haven't covered?
All I would say is, it's kind of like going to the doctor. You go to the doctor because you don't know exactly what's going on. You can look it up on WebMD. You can look things up online. You know that stuff isn't necessarily true, and you don't really have a good fundamental idea of what is wrong with you until you have somebody who's skilled and who's doing lab tests or urine tests, whatever they have to do, right? We're kind of like that doctor. Like, you come and sit with me, and I will literally figure out with you, not for you, but with you, what it is that you need and maybe what you don't need, right?
Right.
Which is just as important.
Yes.
And you may have things in place that are very workable that we don't need to change. You may have some things in place that aren't working for you anymore. The cell phone has changed, right? Over the years. So you know what hasn't changed since 1978? Your 401k. It's still the same. But all other products have changed. There is an entire thing that if you knew about the 401k, your hair would just fry, right? Am I totally against it? No, absolutely not. But are there some things that people don't really understand about it? Oh, a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because you're checking off boxes with some blue-haired lady in the HR department, and she cannot legally advise you on anything. So she's not going to give you information that you need to know. And you may be completely underinsured. You may be completely undervaluing what your life is going to be like when you retire, and you may not have enough money to retire. So
And
we
that
gotta
creates
fix it.
stress.
That's stress. So
Right.
that is where the health comes in, because we know that people who are not under financial stress have better healthy lives.
Right.
Because they're not worried. Their blood pressure isn't going up. Like I said, I was a nurse before this.
Yeah.
People who come in with heart attacks are worrying. People who come in with stress-related diseases are worrying. And when you get to the bottom of it, 9 times out of 10, it's something about money.
Right.
And for us women, we worry about, what if a divorce happens? How am I going to take care of myself? What if my husband dies? How am I going to live the life I'm living now if I only have what I might be bringing in? And let's not forget, pensions, Social Security are going away. That leaves you with only your savings.
Right.
What do you have in savings? Can it stretch for 30 years?
Right.
That's what you have to ask yourself. And that's what I do. And that's what I love to do. I like to sit
love
down with people and figure that out. It's like a puzzle piece.
Yeah. And I love how you teach it in such a simplistic way of helping us truly understand how to get to understanding the numbers.
Right.
That they're just numbers, and that numbers don't lie. and that they can work for us.
They
that
can
they
work for
truly
us.
work for us.
Yeah.
And that there's nothing to be afraid of to learn about these numbers.
Right.
So.
And no matter how successful you are, it never hurts to have a second pair of eyes.
Yeah.
Just take a look at it.
Exactly.
I don't charge, so like I said, there's no syringe and there's no money transfer. It's a win-win.
All right. So, what is the best way for a person to be able to get a hold of you, Sally?
Probably just call me.
Right.
I mean that's great. You could call me at 512-745-5490. You can also reach me at sally.king@wealthwave.com.
Okay. And do you have a business page, a Facebook page?
So I don't have a business Facebook page. We have a lot of regulations and things
Gotcha.
that circle around us. So, and our company also really doesn't do much advertising. We're like the little boutique company that people don't know about,
Nice.
except we're attached to this huge company called Transamerica. So if you really want to get a hold of me, just get a hold of me that way.
Through calling.
Or my email.
Okay. Awesome.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
for
you're
coming.
so
Oh,
welcome.
Such a pleasure
You're
having
such a
you.
doll.
All right. This was Sally King helping us understand the health of our finances and how when we stress about our finances, it can truly affect our pillars of health. You guys have a beautiful and blessed day, and I look forward to visiting with you more soon. All right. Take care and God bless.